Hey friends, I hope you all are doing well today. I wanted to come on here and do a little bit of a video for you guys. Just a little bit of a chat with me video, because I haven't really filmed very much lately for you guys. I wanted to talk a little bit about what's been going on just in my life, and stuff. I have been going through a lot. You guys may know I've had a lot of anxiety and stuff. I've been actively working on dealing with the PTSD and the trauma that I've gone through. And just trying to go through things, which is tough when you have a lot of the trauma, because you have to constantly be working on it, constantly be working on managing everything. And you guys know that I'm also autistic, so I have a lot of other things that I struggle with. The thing I've been working on a lot lately has been communicating my needs, communicating those things, and being open about how I feel and allowing myself to feel, because that is something that comes along with my trauma. Is I spent a lot of time stuffing things down, not talking about things, not saying things, making myself small for other people. I was taught that putting my needs last was the way to do things, because if I put my needs first, then that made me selfish. So I have to unlearn a lot of that. I have to unlearn a lot of the feelings of feeling like nothing I do is good enough. Basically, being neurodivergent, being autistic, having a lot of trauma, complex PTSD, has basically rewired my brain. And it's rewired my brain in such a way that it's like, I now have to unlearn all of those things. I basically have to unlearn how to be. I basically have to learn how to live in a safe environment, which I've been in a safe environment now for nearly 4 years. I've been away from the abuser for 3 years, but I've been in a safe environment for about 4 years, almost 4 years now. So I'm unlearning all of that, and stuff, so it's been hard and a challenge. I've had a lot of meltdowns, I've had a lot of anxiety, a lot of negative emotions. I've not necessarily been in the best place mentally, but I keep moving forward and everything, because what do we have? We've got to move forward and everything. I am seeing my social worker. I'm going to therapy. I'm doing all the things to be able to do well, and to be able to make progress. The biggest thing that I've noticed is that one of the things I struggle with is talking about the things that are on my mind. There are things that I want to talk about. There are things I want to say. There are things that I want to communicate, and I don't always know how. I don't know how to start those conversations with people. I don't know how to word things sometimes. And oftentimes it feels safer to kind of just stay silent and not say anything, which I know that that's not a good idea, and that talking about things is the right thing to do, but I don't necessarily always know how to talk about things. I don't necessarily know always how to mention what's on my mind, or I don't always have the words for the things I'm trying to say, or if I have the words for the things I'm trying to say, I feel like they're coming out wrong, or I don't want to come off in the wrong way. I don't want to come off as, like, not being sensitive to other people's needs. Not wanting to hurt other people's feelings. Having things misinterpreted as things they're not. And that's been a challenge because there's a lot of things that go on in my head. There's a lot of things that, like, I want to talk about, but it just feels like I never know how to talk about them. It just feels like I never have the right words. I never have the right tone. I feel like I've masked for so long that learning how to unmask in a way where it's like I can share my struggles with people, just, it feels hard, it feels vulnerable. I feel like I spend a lot of my life talking a lot, being very hyperverbal, if that's the right word or that's the right term. Kind of compensating for the fact that sometimes I struggle to verbalize the right things. And so a lot of times I talk about things repeatedly. I know that that's not always the right way to do things. But I don't even know if that's the right way to do things. I don't genuinely know what the right way to do things is. I have my iPad for communication, and yet I struggle to use that when I need it. It just always feels like I feel like I get past one thing and there's always another thing. And I feel like I'm doing well and then suddenly I'm not. It's like, it just feels like healing just is never gonna be complete, if that makes sense. It's like, I can do really, really well and manage things really, really well, and then suddenly I'm not managing. And I can think that I've healed from something, and that I'm over something, and then something triggers a trauma response, and I realize that I'm not over that thing. Or I can think that I've gotten comfortable with myself, and that I know myself, and that I've mastered who I am as a person, and then suddenly I haven't. And I question myself, and I question everything about who I am, and then I find myself, like, in certain environments trying to kind of blend in or camouflage, in a sense, kind of be like a chameleon in certain environments, and that's not good, because then I end up burnt out, because I end up uncomfortable. Like, we go to friends sometimes during the week. Some weeks we go to our friend's house for dinner. It used to be something we used to do every week, but lately I've not been wanting to go as often. And I feel like I'm always masking in those situations. Like, it's like I don't really want to be there for very long. Like, we go in and we eat, and then I want to leave. or I don't want to go at all, or I'm spending the entire day dreading going because I know I'm going to have to mask, because I feel like I can't bring the things that I need to bring to be able to feel comfortable. And because there's a lot of people there, it just doesn't, it doesn't feel safe. It doesn't feel like a safe environment for me to be totally myself. Because a lot of my life I spent being told that who I was wrong. Because I spent a lot of my life being told that the way I was wrong. Or that I wasn't, or the things I liked, or the things that brought me comfort wasn't right. Or whatever. Or I was either too quiet or too loud, or the things I enjoyed were never appropriate, age appropriate. And I never felt like the way I was good for people. I was always told that I was too much, whether that was too sensitive, or whether that was too intense, or whether that was too quiet, or too loud, or I cared too much about things, I cared too much about people, and trying to not be those things is hard. Like, trying to be less of those things is hard, because it feels like I'm not being real. Like, I'm not being genuine. So, and I want to be genuine, but at the same time, it's like I don't want to come off in the wrong way. It's the same thing on this channel. I kind of feel the same way about this channel, where it's like I want to be enough. I want to be honest. I want to be real. I feel like I am honest and real, but then I feel like I'm also, sometimes I feel like I'm so, I feel like my tone, and I feel like I always sound exhausted. I always sound tired. I always sound like something's wrong. And the thing is, it's not that necessarily something's always wrong. It's just I have a lot of things going on. And because I have chronic illness, on top of having a lot of sensory issues, on top of having a lot of trauma, on top of having a lot of anxiety and a lot of other things, it's like I feel like I never come off in the way that is pleasing for people, or inviting for people. Yet I know that a lot of you come to this channel because of the fact that this channel is authentic and real, and I don't pretend, and I don't sit there and act like things are okay when they're not. And lately I feel like I've had more days where things weren't okay because my anxiety has been really high, or because I've been really tired, or I've been emotional a lot, like crying a lot, having a lot of meltdowns. And I don't want to just come on here and be like, hey guys, I've been struggling again. Because I don't want my life to be portrayed as always being a struggle. Because my life things aren't always bad. Things aren't always awful. I love being alive. I'm very, very blessed and thankful to have everything that I have, to be in a safe environment, to be able to have the things that I have, to be able to have the people in my life that I have in my life. And I feel like when I say that things are hard, or when I say that I've struggled with things like going to a friend's house because I have to mask, I feel like I sound like I'm being ungrateful, which is not what I'm trying to do. It's just, I'm very socially awkward. I don't always know socially how to behave in situations. And because I spend a lot of my life masking, I feel like I have to mask even in situations where I don't. I generally don't feel comfortable in large groups of people, even if it's people I know. I feel that way with family, too. Like, if I'm in a group with a bunch of people that have known me basically my whole life, I feel like I have to pretend. Even if it's... not even pretend, but mask. Like, because I don't pretend to be somebody I'm not, but I will oftentimes stim less, or I will dress in ways that aren't necessarily the most comfortable, or I will try to put on some face that is part of me, but isn't the full me. So, I don't know. Anyway. I just wanted to come on here and just talk to you guys for a little bit, and in hopes that maybe this will resonate with somebody and make somebody else feel less alone, unless, like, they are alone in these struggles. And yeah, anyway, I love you guys, and as always, remember, if you're going through it, you'll get through it, and remember who you are, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. I'm not going to say tomorrow because I don't know how things are going to go tomorrow. I don't know how I'm going to feel tomorrow night. Tomorrow night we have our D&D game. So, I don't know if I'm going to be available tomorrow to talk. Maybe I'll talk at some point, but who knows. I mean, at this point, I'm just going to say I'll see you guys in the next video. I love you guys. Bye.